What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over the running back position and putting each and every one of the good running backs in college football 25 on this tier list. Now, what do I mean by good? Basically, any 83 or below core elite, I'm not going to include on this list just because, look, if you want to run like a budget running back, Chris Johnson's your guy. I mean, genuinely, that is what I will recommend in this video, and we'll talk about that a little bit further. I also have the stats on my other screen, so if I talk about stats and you're like, Ty, how do you know like what these stats are? Well, that is why. But if you are new to my channel, guys, please smash that subscribe button. You guys have been going absolutely crazy. We've grown from basically 0 to where we're at now in the course of, I don't know, 2 months, and basically from like 1,000 subscribers to where we are now in 1 month. So absolutely crazy, and I really do appreciate all of the recent support. Now let's start it off with Tulsa's running back Anthony Watkins here. 82 speed, not a great receiver out of the backfield, only a 60 catch. Decent juke move, okay spin move. He's fine, C tier. I mean, I don't necessarily love Anthony Watkins, but at least he's got a decent speed, you know? 82 speed, I've seen a lot worse. Scatabo, this card's not very good, and he might be one of your cheapest 85 overalls in the entire game. Only 81 speed on the card makes it kind of tough for me to really rank him highly. He's not bad, he's not horrible, but he is definitely a C tier. Then we get the 85 overall Marshall Faulk, who I am a big time fan of. Now, again, where you put Marshall Faulk really depends. I'm going to put him at A tier though. 85 speed, 85 acceleration, 85 carrying, decent receiver out of the backfield, good juke move as well. There's just not a whole lot negative that I can say about Marshall Faulk. And I've used the card before and he's been really, really good for me. Now we get to CJ2K. Now, just because I have this CJ at D tier does not mean he is bad. I really do like Chris Johnson. Obviously, the 82 overall Chris Johnson is going to be a budget option. He still has 83 speed. The problem with him is only 80 carrying, you know, catching out of the backfield is not going to be great. However, when we talk about this 83 Chris Johnson, he is better than these 84 and 85s. I honestly, I want to put him up to B tier, and I'm going to. I'm going to put him all the way up to B tier, and I'm going to move this one up to C tier. That's how high I am on Chris Johnson. That's how much I want you guys to realize that this card can play and compete at a really, really, really high level. This CJ B tier. This Chris Johnson, it's going to pain me not to put him at S tier, so right now I'm going to. I'm going to put him at S tier right now, because when you're talking about best running backs, I think he's what, top 5? And I'm at least having 5 running backs at S tier. CJ2K, really, really, really good. CJ Donaldson, man. I mean, again, we're going to have some lower tier cards eventually here on this list. So, I mean, I got to be careful for who I put low. But he's D tier to me. Only 80 speed, 70 spin move. I mean, to fit the meta of this game any worse, CJ Donaldson can't. He's horrible. Christian McCaffrey, I do believe right now, I'd have to do the exact math. But my quick math tells me right now he's what, our second best running back in the entire game. Obviously, Judkins is still number 1. Nobody's taking that spot from him anytime soon. But after Judkins, I think CMC is your second best running back. But Chris Johnson isn't that far from him. Both cards obviously are S tier. Christian McCaffrey is, again, just really, really expensive right now in college football Ultimate Team. Kiner up next. Who is this? Corey Kiner. I mean, I'll bring him up. I'll talk about his stats here in a second. But he's not a card that I've really played against too much. Maybe one time I've played against him. He has 79 speed. I mean, are we serious? We're talking about a card with 79 speed. Speed kills in this game. So if you have 79 speed, you cannot expect me to sit here and hype up the card at all, because it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen, and I'm telling you that right now. Ashton Jeanty up next, 83 speed. Decent spin, decent juke. He's not bad. I mean, Jeanty is at least, I'm moving Scatabo down. I'm going to. He's not great. I'm going to move Watkins down as well. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I was wrong about Ashton. This is what I want to do. Ashton's going to go in B tier. The rest of these cards, again, they're not bad cards, but I can't put them any higher. I'm going to put Ashton in B tier. He's really solid. Again, not super expensive. He's expensive because he is the 85 overall. Do I recommend picking him up? Probably not, but he is okay. Amari Daniels, look, he's an 82 overall. So he's going to be cheap. And with that comes 82 speed. With that comes a decent player for an 82 overall. He's just as good, if not better, than CJ Donaldson. So for that, I'm going to put him at that D tier. Now, do I necessarily love or recommend picking up Amari Daniels? No, just pick up Chris Johnson instead. DJ Giddens, I don't know what this 84 overall DJ Giddens is like, but I do know we got like a budget 80 overall DJ Giddens the other day who was absolutely awful. This DJ Giddens isn't awful. I'm going to put him at C tier. He's not awful. Definitely not my favorite card in the game. Damian Martinez up next. I'm pretty sure when I did this video, I was looking at Damian Martinez or assembling this core list, and I just wasn't a big fan. You know what? 81 speed, decent. He's kind of like a Scatabo. He's decent. Definitely can play at a decent level, but not a card that I would probably recommend running. Darius Taylor up next. A lot of these core elites are just, they're kind of just fillers. And if a lot of them are pretty cheap, but if you will pick them up and run them, I just don't know. He's got 82 speed. He's fine. I'll go C tier. It's where a lot of these cards are going to go, is that C tier. They're not horrible. Just not my favorite cards in the game. Marshall Faulk, 82 overall, budget guy. He's not as good as CJ2K. He's just not. So I'm going to go D tier with Marshall Faulk. I do like the card, especially if you're balling on a budget. He is super cheap. But again, if he's the same price as Chris Johnson, you've got to pick up Chris Johnson. You just absolutely do. Chris Johnson is better than him side by side. Well, how do you pronounce this guy's name? I'm going to just pronounce his last name because I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Ragsdale up next. All right, let's look at Ragsdale. He's got 79 speed. All right, well, if you... this goes for everybody. If you have 79 speed and you are a running back, you are going into F tier. And I'm unbiased. I have no bias towards this. But if you are that slow, if you're as fast as me, you're going to go in F tier on this list. I'm sorry. 79 speed for a running back is just simply not getting the job done. Jalen Buckley up next, 80 speed. I mean, I guess I'll go D tier. I guess. I don't want to go D tier, but I guess I will go D tier. No, I'm not. I just simply don't think I can go D tier. And he's got an 82 juke move. I guess I'll go D tier. I don't want to go D tier with Buckley, but I guess I will. I guess I will for the sake of this video. Just no, I don't want to. Jackson up next. Jaquindon Jackson. He's an 85 overall, so he should be at least C tier. We'll see, but he should be at least C tier. I'm looking at the card here. 81 speed. Again, these guys are all like power backs too. And again, the meta of this game is not a power back. I'll go C tier with him. He's fine. But like Ashton Genty is definitely better than Jackson by far. Not even close. Coleman up next. Jonah Coleman. Again, another power back. Who comes up with all these 85 overall power backs? Why can't any of them be like, you know, elusive? That's what I'm talking about. Give me an elusive back. 80 speed. D tier. Another card I'm just not a super big fan of, but a D tier is probably the right spot. Jordan James. He's fine. I don't want to hate too much on Jordan James. But when I'm doing this tier list and you're an 83 overall and you're not one of my favorite cards, I'll go D tier with you. Pretty similar to Amari Daniels. Thing I do like about Daniels is just like juke moves, I do believe, is a little bit better than a guy like Jordan James. Jonathan Taylor, 86 overall, A tier. He is not S tier though. I've ran Jonathan Taylor quite a bit recently because I picked him up because he was dirt cheap. I still don't mind him for his price. I gotta let that be known. But he's not as good as Chris Johnson, and he's not as good as Christian McCaffrey, and I think he's closer to that 85 Marshall Faulk than either of those guys at S tier. Judkins, the best player in college football Ultimate Team still to this day. I know his like prices went down a little bit. Don't ask me why, because I can't answer the question. If you've got Judkins, I'd hold on to him. I mean, he is that good in college football Ultimate Team. He is so good. The gap between Judkins and McCaffrey is greater than the gap between like CJ and CJ. I mean, it is. Maybe that's probably over exaggerating, but it is large. So know that. Mullings up next. I think when I did this, I looked at Mullings and I'm like, why am I even putting him on the list? But he is an 84 overall. He's got 78 speed. So not only is he slower than me, he's slower than my grandma. Okay, both of my grandmas. He's slower than both of them because you've got 88 or 78 speed on my field. I don't know. 78 speed. We've got defensive linemen with 85 speed, and you're a running back with 75 speed. Why are you even in the game? Why did they bother putting you in the game? I do not know. Kaytron Allen, the next card we're going to talk about today, he's got 82 speed. So I mean, at least for Kaytron Allen, like he's not a total scrub. He's not a total scrub. He's got 88 or 82 speed, 85 overall. I'm going to throw him at B tier. I think that's probably where he does belong. Again, because when I did look at this Kaytron Allen, I actually was somewhat impressed. Decent juke move as well. He's not a scrub. And that's the big thing for me. If you're not a scrub, you're going to be somewhat respected on my tier list here. Mark Fletcher Jr., another card that I don't even know why. I don't even know why he's on this tier list. I have absolutely no clue why Mark Fletcher Jr. is here. He's got 82 speed, 82 carry, and 82 juke move. He's actually not the worst. I'm actually going to put him at C tier. I actually don't hate Mark Fletcher Jr., but again, I shouldn't have put all these core elites on here. Marshall Faulk, this Marshall Faulk, I'm going to throw him at C tier. Here's the deal, guys. Marshall Faulk's just one tier below CJ for so like 86, 85, obviously they're the best cards of each, just one tier lower. The 83s, one tier lower. The 82s, one tier lower. I think that's pretty accurate. Singleton, B tier. Singleton is a stud and he is free. So if you've got Singleton, you've got a stud on your hands. The card is really, really, really good. Definitely a card that you guys can use and have a ton of success with in your backfield. The other Singleton isn't as good. Not nearly as good. He is C tier to me. This Singleton walks circles around the other Singleton. Again, don't make the rules for this. If it was up to me, the other Singleton, the core elite Singleton, wouldn't even be in the game or wouldn't even be on this tier list. But it is what it is. Hampton up next, 82 speed, decent juke move, decent catching. He's fine. C tier, not quite D tier. He's C tier. It's where he belongs. Ollie Gordon. So this is the base Ollie Gordon. So this is one that's interesting because at the time I'm recording this, I don't really know much about the base Ollie Gordon. I know more about like the good Ollie Gordon we have. But the core elite Ollie Gordon looks like this. 84 speed, good juke move. He's good. I mean, this Ollie Gordon is good. He's A tier. I mean, that Ollie Gordon is really, really, really good. I didn't know he was that good as far as a core elite. Most core elites aren't good. That Ollie Gordon is really good. This Ollie Gordon obviously is better. He belongs in S tier. I don't think he's as good as Chris Johnson, CJ2K. I don't. But, I mean, I still do believe when I'm looking at Ollie Gordon that he does belong at S tier. He's got 85 speed, good juke move, great juke move, I should say, good spin move. He does belong at S tier. The lower end of S tier, but he does belong there. Who is this guy? Penny Boone? Okay, I guess I'll look at Penny Boone. I mean, I don't even remember adding him to this list, but it's going to be fun when college football comes so I can start watching these guys and be like, dang, that's the guy that has 79 speed in college football ultimate team like Penny Boone does. Get off my list, Penny. Get faster. Get in the gym. I don't know. Do something to be a little bit faster. Contact EA to make your card faster so I can start using you and like you. Phil Maffa, he's got 81 speed. Not the worst. I mean, more of a power back than anything. I'll go D tier. Yeah, not the worst. Quentin Cooley actually is kind of decent. Only an 83 overall. It did come in the in case you missed it drop. Somebody's actually ran this card against me and cooked me with him. I don't necessarily think the world of Quentin Cooley. Only 80 speed. Nah, honestly, he's not very good. Somebody did cook me with him the other day, though. I feel like he's just so small that he's kind of hard to tackle. This Quentin Cooley stinks as well. Putting both of them at F tier. Raheem Sanders. I know in regs he can be a problem. In college football, it's a team. Let's take a look at him. But yeah, in regs, South Carolina is actually good because they got that good wide receiver and then they got, a decent quarterback, decent running back. I mean, he's got 83 speed. He's got 83 speed. I'm putting him at C tier. You got 83 speed. Do some other things on the field. You've got some respect in my eyes. Saquon Barkley, our last card today that I'm putting at S tier. This is one that a lot of people might not agree with. But I think he's our last. If I want 5 guys at S tier, he's got to be there. He's absolutely the 5th best running back in the game, and I'd probably rank them like this. I think that's a pretty accurate ranking system as well when I am doing this thing. Next up, Taj Brooks. Let's look up Taj Brooks. See what he is doing. Because again, when I did put this assemble this list together, I had an idea of what these cards had. He has 80 speed. You can be a D tier. I mean, just not a card that I personally would recommend running. He fits your squad. Do what you got to do. But not a card I recommend running. TJ Harden, 80 speed as well. I mean, what are we talking about? 80 speed for all these cards. Todd Gurley up next. I mean, he's really good. Like Todd Gurley is actually really, really good in college football ultimate team. The thing about Todd Gurley is his juke move isn't great, as far as an overall card. Might not be as good as some of those top level guys, but I do think he belongs in A tier compared to B tier. And for 60,000 coins, Todd Gurley is an absolute steal. Throw him right in there with Marshall Faulk. How I'd rank these cards at A tier would probably be like this, is probably how I personally would rank them. Last but certainly not least, Terrion Stewart. I mean, he's actually not the worst. I mean, I'm looking at the card, 81 speed, D tier at the running back position. So if you notice the trend, these core elite cards stink. And that's the trend that we're going to be seeing for the future. And so that's why, if you're ever like, Ty, why is this core elite card not on a tier list? Well, number one, it's because they're overpriced. Number two, they're not very good. When we look at these top level guys, you got some absolute studs. If you are balling on a budget, pick up Chris Johnson, whether it's the 81, whether it's the 82 or 83. I don't care. If you are balling on a budget, that is the guy to pick up. That's the guy I recommend. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. Who is I too high on, too low on? Let me know. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.